speak, family, friends. And the person who found this video here is Rafael Santos, right? This video I'm taking the opportunity to record to inform you of a new project that is being born today. The project I'm creating is a project that will include music, right? Music is with my ideas that I have from, let's say, my life experience, my musical taste. It's one of my cinematic influences, right? Like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, people from Marvel, DC, anyway, it's several universes, right? But it serves as a reference for you to understand this story I'm creating, right? It's called Rafandria, right? That's the whole universe of characters we're creating. And today, 04/20/2025, I am releasing our first album. It's an album that was released on the main streaming platforms such as Spotify, YouTube Music, Deezer, Apple Music, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, anyway. It's like 50 different platforms, so you'll be able to listen to this first work, which is the beginning of everything, right, of this idea. This first album is a more instrumental work, where it will be focused, more instruments there, violin, piano, with some elements that give the understanding that it is 11, let's say 11 more cinematic musicality, which is where we will base our stories, right? In this universe, we will create heroes based on the stars in the universe, right? For example, just the planets, stars, black holes is, in short, a lot of cool things from the imagination that we created, right? Of course, based on technologies, using artificial intelligence tools, but always looking for what we have in our minds, in our hearts, to deliver a story that it is very interesting, dramatic, that seeks to hold you to read as much as possible, right? So this work he is creating is in the musical part because he will get inspiration from these stories. And the music will be essential to explain every detail of this work, okay? It's a totally authorial work. It's like posting in these main ones. It's platforms. You have to be something of yours, right? Which it's not. Identify anyone's copy. So that's a very positive point. You will be consuming these, right? These ideas within this material that we are posting there. So today you can now access Spotify or these other platforms. Just search for Rafandria and there will be the first album, which is Wage of Ifer. What is it, huh? Volume 1, where he brings the idea of the emergence of the universe, right? The Big Bang, which gave that explosion and then came sprouting, then darkness, light, and the elements were merging and creating. It's what we understand today within science fiction. There's also a lot of science fiction, which I love. I'm very inspired by these stories. I like it a lot. So we have a lot of characters. It's just that I'm writing a book, right, which I'll release soon too. So how do you book on platforms? For example, it's Amazon, right, which is on Kindle. You'll be able to follow, right? So there are many chapters for those who want to delve deeper into the concept of this story. Okay, yeah, you're gonna get the book, right? It's going to be the book of Infer. What's gonna be the book of the ether that we're talking about, right? Okay, Infer, because it is a work really based in English, but we will have an introductory version in Portuguese to introduce myself there, you friends, families, acquaintances who come to find this work and like it and want to understand it more deeply, because my biggest concern is not to create and play on platforms, but to have 11 stories. I think everything in life has to have a story, and this story has to sell the idea you want to convey to the public, right? So there will be several plots, there will be a lot of mess that will resort there. It's disagreements, wars, but at a colossal level, at the level that we're used to seeing in these films we saw there, from Lord of the Rings to Game of Thrones, right? It's for you to understand. So I'm creating the characters. There will be videos showing the character being created there, right? The names for you to get attached to these characters. So we'll talk in the next videos about these characters. What are the main ones, right? The ones, let's say, the guys more fantastic, the strongest there, right? Villains also have to have, right? Because without a villain, there is no hero. So to be a hero, you have to have a villain, right? And then I'm creating all this. I believe it's going to be very cool, and I'm going to need you a lot for you to follow, right? Help us in this creation, in this continuity. It's a very long work. It's been a few months that I'm already developing, right? Yeah, so there's a very long process for that, especially for those who work in music, right? No, I don't want to go into these details, but you know what the issue of creation is like? No matter how much you use artificial intelligence today, that it came to stay, it's the same thing as a musician. The musician, he needs an instrument to amplify his inspiration, right? The vocalist, the guitarist, the keyboard drummer, the lyrical singers, tenors, we will have all of this. It will be a very, very complete work in this field. And she's going to follow, of course, initially with the instrumentals, because that's where I'm going to be basing the emergence of the universe. It is all without name, without language, without knowledge. So it's something very simple. In the beginning, we will have 2 very instrumental albums. This first one, which is very smooth, has 10 tracks, is just over 30 minutes of audio that you can listen to. And then we have now scheduled the release of the second album for 05, 20, 25, which is already more focused on violin. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. Violins there, as we will say, the main ones in the work. Very beautiful songs, others very scary, destructive, that are meant to, let's say, explain the characteristics of that character. What's up? Planning to release the first album in June or July with composers like this, singers, right? You will hear male voices, female voices, lyrical voices, lower, higher, frightening voices. Yeah, it's storytellers. We will have storytellers, and I will also be revealing the names of all these guys, these people at the beginning. So whoever sings will have a role, whoever speaks will have a role, whoever the story is told will have a role, right? Yeah, it's a very big world. It's really a lot of imaginary people that I created there, people. And so it is a work that we will base a lot on English, because it has become much more accessible in English. But I have some predictions to be launching an exclusive version in Portuguese for those of you who know me and you understand it too, because no, it is not possible that the English song everyone will understand, as much as it is a challenge, even an invitation, but it will be very cool that I am creating too. 111 continuation in Portuguese, which he will align together with English, and then he will throw you into the work, the whole thing happening there in the language, right? And there will be the website. The site even has a registered domain. It is being built, the site. It will have a summary of all the works. What is the idea? Why that name? Why these characters are there, and what do we intend with every one of them. So there will be a lot of cool image that will challenge thinking and imagination. All you can see from what I have idea, I will be putting it on this side. There will be YouTube. The YouTube channel will also help, is the understanding that we are going to release the video clips, so you listen to the song on Spotify or any other streaming, but you will also be able to see the video clip on YouTube, which is where it will give more shape, more understanding of this work, which is where you will see the dick breaking, right? It's war, little niggas hitting each other. It's a crazy movie thing, right? So one thing I always wanted is, I imagined, in fact, today with artificial intelligence, it gave us a lot of power, right? I feel one. A water now, huh? Of course, learning a lot. I'm small, and I hope that I have the strength, that I have the condition for this work to have a segment, right? It's long. So for us to achieve it is to tell everything I've ever written, because it's a lot. That's a lot of chapters, right? I think I have about 80 chapters in this first book. So it's going to be a lot of pages, a lot of reading for whoever, of course, wants. If you don't want to run down, listen to the songs, watch the videos. But if you want to know each character intimately, in depth, because he's like that, then there will be the book, right? Which is the Book of Ether, which we call Book of Heifer. And then it's going to be really cool, guys. Thanks for your attention. If you got here to the end, it was a little long video, but I needed this introduction because it is the first video of this project, and I hope to count on you in the next videos on the official channels that we have also created. Hey, in the next few days or weeks, we will be launching, and I will be guiding you here to follow on the right channels. Thank you very much. Big hug and even more.